Real-life zombie cases, disturbing stories of people coming back to life. What if the dead didn't stay dead? Sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, but throughout history there have been chilling cases of people pronounced dead, only to return to life under mysterious and terrifying circumstances. Could science explain these shocking events, or is there something darker at play? Tonight we unravel real-life zombie cases, exploring the bizarre, the unexplained, and the downright terrifying. From people clawing their way out of graves to eerie tales of the Haitian voodoo zombie phenomenon, these stories will send chills down your spine. So sit back, turn off the lights, and prepare yourself for some of the most disturbing real-life accounts of the dead refusing to stay buried. Case 1. The man who woke up at his own funeral. In 2014, a 37-year-old man named Walter Williams from Mississippi was pronounced dead by a coroner. His family was devastated, and preparations for his funeral began immediately. His body was taken to a local funeral home where it was placed inside a body bag. But just as the morticians were about to begin the embalming process, something terrifying happened. The body bag began to move. Williams, who had been declared dead just a day before, was now kicking and struggling to break free. Funeral home workers quickly unzipped the bag to find him gasping for air. His family was called, and they were shocked beyond belief. Doctors later suggested that his pacemaker had temporarily stopped working, making it appear as though he had died. But others believe it was something more sinister, a glitch between life and death. Sadly, just 2 weeks later, Walter Williams died for real. This time, there was no coming back. But the question remains, had he actually died the first time? Or had something darker brought him back, if only for a moment? Case 2. The Haitian zombie girl clawing her way out of the grave. One of the most terrifying zombie legends comes from Haiti, a place known for voodoo magic and dark rituals. In 1937, a woman named Felicia Felixmenter was seen wandering through a small village, wearing tattered clothes, her eyes empty, and her skin gray and lifeless. What's disturbing? Felicia had been buried in a marked grave nearly 30 years earlier. Her family was horrified when they saw her. She didn't speak, and her expressions were completely blank. Locals immediately believed she was a zombie, a person who had been resurrected by voodoo priests known as bakers. According to Haitian folklore, bakers could create zombie powder, a mixture containing the deadly poison tetrodotoxin found in pufferfish. This poison could slow a person's heart rate to an undetectable level, making them appear dead. After burial, the baker would dig them up, enslaving them to do their bidding. Was Felicia just a victim of a rare medical condition, or had she been turned into a real-life voodoo zombie? Case 3. The Indonesian man who came back decades later. Imagine losing a loved one, burying them, and mourning their death, only for them to return years later, looking exactly the same as when they left. In 2017, a 75-year-old man named Sumardi from Indonesia was found alive after being declared dead 15 years earlier. His family was in shock. They had held a traditional funeral, buried his body, and moved on with their lives. But now, here he was, standing in front of them with the same face, the same voice, and the same memories. Even more disturbing, he claimed he had no recollection of where he had been for the past 15 years. He simply remembered dying and then waking up, feeling lost and confused. Experts have struggled to explain this case. Could he have been buried alive and somehow escaped? Or did he come back from the dead for reasons beyond our understanding? Case 4. The Russian woman who climbed out of her own grave. In 2015, a 49-year-old woman named Fadjilia Mukhamatsianov from Russia suffered a heart attack and was mistakenly declared dead. Her family was heartbroken and began making arrangements for her burial. As she lay in her coffin during the funeral service, surrounded by mourning relatives, something unthinkable happened. She woke up. To her absolute horror, she realized she was at her own funeral. As she heard the priest reading prayers over her, she let out a piercing scream. Funeral guests were terrified, some even running out of the building in panic. Mukhamatsianov was quickly rushed to the hospital, but the shock of the experience proved too much. Just a few hours later she died, for real this time. This eerie case leaves us wondering, how many people have been buried alive without anyone ever realizing? Case 5. The man who was declared dead 4 times. Some people die once. Others seem to cheat death over and over again. In 2011, a South African man was pronounced dead after a long illness. His family arranged a funeral and called the local morgue to collect his body. The morticians took him to the facility and placed him in the cold storage unit. But 21 hours later, something terrifying happened. Morgue workers heard banging noises from inside the refrigerator. At first, they thought it was their imagination, but as the noises grew louder, they cautiously opened the storage unit, only to find the man very much alive. Shaken but unharmed, the man was taken back to the hospital. Doctors were stunned. They had no medical explanation for how he had survived after being declared dead. And even stranger? This wasn't the first time this had happened to him. 3 more times he was pronounced dead in the following years, only to come back every single time. Had he cheated death, or was something far more unnatural keeping him alive? Final thoughts: could zombies be real? Science tells us that zombies don't exist. But these real-life cases challenge everything we think we know about life and death. From people waking up at their own funerals to mysterious resurrections years later, these terrifying events leave us with one chilling question. Are we really dead when we die? Or is there something waiting for us on the other side, something we may not be able to escape? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more dark and mysterious stories. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and stay awake.